The content in this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered independent financial advice. Always do your own research and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Hey everyone, how's it going? My first video on here, I thought I would just make one quickly about the stock market crash or the little dip that we had about a month ago. If you were in any way online, looking at the news, Facebook, anything like that, it was full of doom and gloom saying that the market's crashing, it's the worst since COVID, like, oh, we've lost 100 billion off the stock exchange and everything. And a month on from that, so only 4 weeks later, we haven't heard anything about it, haven't heard what the market's doing. There's been no more doom and gloom about it. So I just wanted to go through it, and I don't think it's fair that the media made such a big deal about it, saying how bad it was and how crazy it's going to be, and we're all going to lose all of our money. And then a mere 4 weeks later, no one said anything about it. There's been no follow up. So I'm going to have a look at the chart, see what we've actually come since then, and how bad the downfall or the crash actually was. Because personally, I don't think it was anything to make a huge deal about. I think the media just like getting headlines, getting big letters saying stock market crash, and $100 million is a big figure that's going to make people scared. So we'll quickly get into it. I'll just roll some headlines now, just so you know that what I'm talking about, and then I'll quickly just look at a chart, look at how it kind of broke down, I suppose, like how it happened over the time period. Because it happened over a weekend, so it had Friday to kind of hit, and then it festered, and everyone had time to read up about it and realize, oh no, it's crashing over the weekend. And then Monday was when it really got hit hard because everyone had been panicking for the last 2 days over the weekend, going, oh, I've got to sell all my shares because it's going to zero. And that's why Monday hit us harder than the Friday did. But I'll just roll those clips now and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about here. We've got markets give off Black Monday vibes as stocks tank. August stock market fiasco is a stark red flag coming from a hedge funder. Australian stock market sheds more than 100 billion in biggest fall since lockdown era. Share market loses 100 billion in bloodbath. Like, just all these titles are to incite fear.
Okay, so here we are now. I've got market index up and I'm just going to go over it quickly. So obviously the two massive red candles are exactly what we're talking about. So this was the crash, which happened over 2 days. And like I said, it was a Friday and then a Monday. So the first kind of dip came on this Friday here, which was the 2nd of August. So if we just want to get a percentage of that, this is the all ordinaries, by the way. So every stock on the ASX combined. So obviously you can see up here now it's around 8.3. At the time it was a little bit lower than that. But then obviously crashed right down into the high sevens. So in on the Friday down 2%. Like, yeah, big day to be down. But having said that, look at the day before it. Like, look at this. You were up nearly the same amount like on Wednesday and Thursday. So like it's a lot, but I feel like we're only thinking it's a lot because it's going down. It's not going up. If it was going up, everyone would be cheering and saying, "Hey, we're great, we're saved." So it did go down a little bit. 2% for the entire market in a single day is a big decline. I'm not trying to say that it's not, but a 2% decline in one day, in my opinion, does not constitute a market crash, a bloodbath. I think some news stations called it. Like, it's 2%, like, it's fine. Big number, but in one day, yes, you're right, it's a big number. But overall, I don't think it's that big of a deal to worry about. However, then, so that was the 2nd, right? This next day here is the 5th. So that's after the 3rd and the 4th, which was a Saturday and a Sunday. So everyone saw this on Friday, and then the news agencies all started screaming out, or news stations, sorry, all started screaming out, oh, there's a crash. Friday was horrible, rah, rah, rah. Like, if you look at it, your Friday close, so here, was at the same level as, what's that? The 22nd of July. So a week, barely a week. About a week earlier, the market was in the exact same position but no one said anything because it hadn't gone up. Like I said, back on this whatever that would have been, Wednesday and Thursday, it skyrocketed here and then crashed back straight back down. And this is what got all the attention. I wasn't really looking, but I didn't see much about this at all, as in how good the market is up. I only saw this, which is what prompted me to make this video, literally filming it on my phone. That's how angry I was about it. So that was the 2% down there, which in reality only took you to the start of the week. And you're still above all this rest back here, which is what's this? A bit early in the year. So May, June, July, all the way coming up, still all the way up from here. The close here is still higher than all of this here. So the market's still moving up. It's just had a crappy day, which is fine. Okay, so moving on then to the next day. So this is the Monday. So this is when it got crashed because over the weekend, everyone was panicking and selling and thinking like, oh my God, the market's going to zero. I've got to get out. So then Monday morning hit, and this was a deadly one. This one was, what does that say? Minus 3.8%. Like, so about 6% generously in total down if you bought at the very peak up here. So only if you bought at the absolute peak and sold at the absolute bottom, which is pretty unlikely, but for the purpose of this video, we'll go with it. You would have lost generally. The market lost 6% of its overall capital. Now, a stock crash is defined by CMC markets as exceeding 10%. So we're only just over 50% of the way to what is industry standard known as a crash. So we're still miles away from a crash, and it's only over 2 days. So down a total of 6%. Actually, we can get the exact number here. There you go, 5.79, an exact of 5.79 over 2 days if you bought at the peak and sold at the very bottom, which I don't think many people would have done because most people aren't that active in the market, and particularly not 2 days apart as well. Like that means you would literally have to buy on Thursday or Friday and then sell it immediately on Monday, a stock that you just bought. I'm assuming you had reasons to buy it, so why would you sell it over a weekend? But that's what we're talking about. So all of this media explosion over a 5.79% loss on the market, not small. I'm not saying it's a small loss. It is a dent in the market, but I do not think it was worth the huge drama that ensued after that fact. And they try to scare you by panicking about this part. Like if you ignore that, and if you buy, even if you did buy here, let's say you did buy, a couple of days before the crash, and you just watched your position get absolutely shonked into the ground. If you've bought a half decent stock in probably the ASX 200, 50 to 20 preferably, if you've bought somewhere in there and it's dumped it down here, like just wait. Like I'm not saying never sell, but have a look at the macro factors of the economy. Like we're not about to collapse. The economy is strong. Look at this mark. The proof is here. Look at this rebound. People saw this, and more importantly, the institutions saw this and thought, fuck yeah, let's get into here, and just ripped a 7% profit in 1 month. If you do that 6 months of the year, that's nearly a 40% profit, which is 10 times more than a bank's going to pay you. So they're trying to scare us into not trading with the market and keeping our money in the banks by capitalizing on things like this and missing out on huge gains like this. Look at this. This is a daily chart, and all it's done is gone up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks straight. And all the market did was go up after 2 days of plummeting. Like, you cannot trade with the herd. What the majority of people are doing are wrong. You want to do what the institutions are doing and what the smart money is doing. Do not follow the crowd, because the majority of the crowd is fucking broke, as we know. So we can zoom out further here. Let's go back to the start of the year. So that's here. Ooh. Let's go back here. Okay, so January's here. So if you didn't follow any of this and you bought your stocks 2 years ago or whatever, you're going to be looking at a minimum. Let's say that you bought them here because that's a peak. Let's say You bought them there, and so before the crash, you would have been looking at a 6% gain over that time if you did nothing. Obviously, this is all generally speaking. I'm not saying your particular stock has returned 6% over this time. This is a market average because it's the best way that I can demonstrate this by including all the stocks in the ASX, not just handpicking some. I didn't want to do the 20, didn't want to do the 200 or the 300 because you miss out on all the small caps. So I just did the all ordinaries because that's how most people talk in market terms, on the media at least, not always in the industry. So you'd be looking at about a 6% gain over what's that, September, so 9 months. So two-thirds of the year, or sorry, August, so whatever that is. Two-thirds of the year, you'd be looking at about a 6% gain. If you then sold, or if you didn't sell but were still holding, you would be pretty much neutral. You'd be neutral. So even if you have no concept of market timing, all you know is buy stock and hold. Even if you bought a stock and hold pretty much anywhere in the last year, the worst position you would have been in that August crash is neutral. Who cares? You're neutral. And then you wouldn't have sold then because you haven't have sold for the rest of this time. Look, you might have even been negative in here sometimes, or up here, depending on where you bought. And this is a high point anyway that I'm starting on. So not too many people would be buying right at the peak. So you're neutral here. And then I'm assuming you didn't sell there because why would you? You're back to neutral. You don't sell when you're neutral. You sell when you're up or down. And then assuming you held on, you'd be right back to it in 2 weeks. Another 6% gain. Or if you want to take advantage of it, you sell here, you short it, or not short, sorry, you stop loss it here, say maybe halfway down when it bounces past your stop loss, tackle a 5% gain, bang, buy back in the bottom here, and ride it all the way up for another 6% gain, and you get 11% instead of fucking 7. So I don't think, the whole point of this is just to say, I don't think that this is a crash, and the amount of media and press and panicking that was in the market and everyone was screaming like they're about to lose their heads was absolutely disgusting. And it was pushed and pushed and pushed by the media companies, Facebook. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got an opinion, obviously, on the market, on the housing market, and we're all about to hit a recession and prices are about to drop 30% in housing and stocks. But we're going to see if that's going to happen or not. So yeah, that's all I wanted to basically say is that and that. I'll just zoom out quickly and show you on a weekly chart if you want to blow your mind even more. That'll be real good. Here, Market Index, by the way, great site. We're going to change it to a week, so we're going to trade looking on a week. So not to get too into it, but you should have a daily chart if you're doing real short-term trading week to week. I don't do anything shorter than that, so I don't know what you guys use for day trading. I'm assuming minutes or seconds, probably like the cryptos do. If 1 week is for probably a month to 2 months, so you can kind of see the trends of it. Anything longer than that, you can go a month, but I usually go a week because I'm not going to be buying and selling the stock in the same week. So if we go to the weekly chart and try and find, where was it? So it's here. So this is it. This here is what all of that was about. That's what it was about. It was about down, whatever that was, about 6% here and then 6% the next week. So if you cut out those 2 weeks, the market's acting perfectly normal, still going straight up. So when in doubt, zoom out. That's what I want you to remember. If you don't take anything else away from this video, if in doubt, zoom out. Because when you zoom out, it puts it in perspective and you know that this market is not going anywhere. Look at it. All it's doing is going up and it's not a bubble. I don't think it's going to burst personally. I'm not an advisor, so don't quote me on that. It could crash. Anything's possible. What's this? So this is going back into last year. Let's just go like a 3 year. Let's go 1 week and then, how do I do that? Oh, down here. 5 year, and then we'll zoom in. So what would a 3 year be? If we're in 2024 at the moment, down here 21. Yeah. So look, we meandered around a little bit in here for middle. There's still money to be made though. These are big peaks and troughs. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, massive up there. So there's still money to be made here if you're actively managing it. And even if you're not, you're probably going to be up from about 2 to 3 years ago anyway. And to put it in perspective, we're talking about this here. No, we're not. Sorry, this one here. We're talking about this here. Up, down, up, That's it. That's all that we're looking at. And this is zoomed out to 3 years. So investing is a long-term game. You shouldn't be looking at the day-to-day prices unless you're trading really small and that's your strategy. If you're just trying to invest just for your future, you shouldn't be looking at the daily or hourly price charts. I know it's tempting. Everyone does it. I do it, but you shouldn't be doing that, or at least don't make your investments decisions based off that. Go back to your research, go back to your reasoning, and go back to why you picked that stock and what it's got going behind it. So don't buy into the media crap that's just trying to scare you for clicks, because it's just not worth it. Like, this market is so strong. We're testing the all-time high. Have we ever been this? Oh no, sorry. We're not testing the all-time high. This is the all-time high. We're trading at an all-time high. So yeah, there's probably going to be a significant pullback at some point because we've meandered along sideways for quite a while. All this is showing really strong coming up to here, but of course it won't go up forever. There will be little pullbacks like this one here, like that there. The reason, by the way, that these weren't picked up as much as as this tiny thing was up here is because these are more spread out. This is going down over 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. That's a month of the market going down. That's nowhere near as exciting as it losing 6% in one day. So of course this gets all the media attention, and things like this, and this all get completely left out. So it's just utter crap. One more thing that I just wanted to touch on. I'll see if I can find the screenshot and put it on the screen. But I had someone tell me in a Facebook group that I'm in, and I contribute quite a lot to that and try and really help people out. I had someone tell me, I'll blur the name, but they said unironically that this crash, after I told them it's fine, don't worry, it's not really a big deal, they told me it was worse than the COVID crash. Well, my friend, this is your COVID crash here in March of 2020. What are we looking at there? From the peak right to the bottom of the trough was a 32% loss on the ASX All Ordinaries. 32% of our market wiped over whatever that would, what are we in now? Weeks, 1, 2, 3, over 4 weeks. So over literally a month. So that was COVID, and this is us here. So don't at me. There was nothing like COVID, and I told you that as well. Hey guys, I just finished editing it. It was my first time doing it, so I'm sorry if the video quality is crappy, or it wasn't well set out, or it was a bit too long. It's nearly 20 minutes. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Obviously subscribe and like it if you thought it was valuable, or just comment what you want to see next, I guess, and know more about. I'll try and do what the community kind of wants. But yeah, just thank you if you made it this far. It's my first video, so I'm sorry if it sucked. But yeah, thank you for giving me a shot.